Pride Month, Part 3. If you've been following on, Pride Month, Part 3 would seem like the logical step since I've done Pride Month, Part 2. So we'll go to Pride Month, Part 3. Hey, look, you'll want to continue waving rainbow flags, disguising basically Marxist ideology as queer theory. You want to keep doing that? I'm going to keep sitting here, actually, and, opposing it, shall we say. So welcome to Christianity Out Loud. Welcome to Pride Month Part 3. Hey, if you are a Christian, why don't you hit the subscribe button? I mean, this is something that we should all be standing up against. The movement, the ideology is something that really should be stood against and fought against figuratively, not literally, intellectually, not physically, should be fought against. So, jump on board, help me out here. Bit hard doing it with a very small platform, okay? And they have, every platform available to them. Coming to you from Sky News. This is an opinion piece, so take the headline with a grain of salt. The relentless push to eliminate male and female as gender categories continues unabated. Well, Jetstar. See, they can't seem to fly a plane on time or get one to take off at times at all. I know as my wife was earlier this year, was supposed to fly home, couldn't because it was on Jetstar, and they just cancelled the flight because, hey, why not? But they've got the priorities straight because they've now changed the uniforms from male and female to set 1 and set 2. So good on you, Jetstar. We can't get a plane to take off or land on time, but by God, we can eliminate gender. It's just all so utterly ridiculous. Yeah, the sooner sane and sensible G's, L's, and B's within that rapidly growing acronym kick the T's out, the more we can go back to just a normal sense of society. It really is that simple. The T's have overtaken that entire movement. If you think about it, is there anything more anti-gay than the trans movement? Because what do they want to do? They actually want to cut the genitals off a young boy who may end up simply being gay. But no, if the trans movement gets a hold of them, it's the full deal, just dreadful. Speaking of, I did read yesterday a very interesting article that in the UK they're actually ceasing all puberty blocker treatment and that type of medication for trans youth. Because, oh my gosh, what a revelation. It doesn't work. All it does is mess them up physically, which thus culminates in more mental issues. The rest of us need to catch up with this revelatory news that who knew putting a 5-year-old on puberty blockers was just not the right thing to do. They did close the Tavistock clinic, which performed all sorts of unconscionable and evil acts upon children. Thank goodness it's closed. Thank God it's closed. Now every doctor who cut things, tucked things, prescribed things now needs to be prosecuted for child sexual abuse and medical malpractice to the full extent of the law. But in some good news, I say good news. Christian doctor fired That's not good news. But Christian doctor fired for not using trans pronouns says standing up, affirming truth, is the only way forward. Why those two things are in inverted commas, I'm imagining they are quotes. It is impossible for a person to change sex, so I can't go along with that, the doctor says. Christian doctor who was fired for refusing to use transgender pronouns with patients says his case is not an isolated one. That's not a surprise. And urged other medical professionals and people of faith to stand up and affirm truth in battles over gender ideology. Well, that's what we should be doing. Hi, right here. The doctor, who I won't name, but I will links to articles below, as always. 60. Lost his job as an emergency doctor in the United Kingdom. Also not a surprise. In 2019. Going back a few years. After practicing medicine for 26 years. He had objected to using a hypothetical patient's preferred pronouns. Say that 10 times quickly. He had objected to using a hypothetical patient's preferred pronouns in a training exercise. Now that makes it even more ridiculous. It's a training exercise. It wasn't even a real scenario. This never occurred. And he's going, well, I'm not going to say she, they, whatever, because it's a he or whatever it was. He got fired for not doing it in a training exercise. I mean, are you serious? Some days I look at the earth, I look at the world, I look at cities and countries and think to myself, Lord, you smited Sodom and Gomorrah arguably for less. When is the reckoning coming? I told them as a Christian in good conscience I could not do that. His refusal eventually led to his dismissal. Going on, the doctor said he would never treat a transgender patient different to any other patient, but to him it was a matter of honesty. And he says if Christianity isn't protected by the Equality Act here in the United Kingdom, then the Equality Act is worthless. The anti-discrimination law claims to protect citizens from being harassed or discriminated against for their religious beliefs, gender identity, and other characteristics. Well, we all know that that's a load of absolute rubbish, because the law does not prevent discrimination against religious affiliations, unless, for some unknown reason, you happen to be Islamic. Then it does. I'm sure it would. But if you're a Christian, my goodness, that seems to be the religion that everybody is just going to jump up and down all over because you are, well, you name it, whatever sort of phobic you want to put on there, or racist or bigoted or whatever other buzzword these activist lunatics want to throw around. See, there's a great clip floating around on YouTube, Facebook, Reels, you name it, it's around the place. Matt Walsh, everybody's favourite antagonist. I have all the time in the world for Matt Walsh. He's a man who speaks nothing but truth. Okay, and unashamedly so. He was doing one of these university Q&As. And if I actually find the link to that, I'll put it down below as well, so you can go and watch it yourself. He's doing one of these university Q&As and comes across I think they were a paramedic or EMT, something like that, emergency medicine of some sort, claimed to be trans. Okay, now that part I don't care about. But Matt Walsh's point was that Oh, it was all men can get pregnant. That's right. Men can get pregnant. It was something to do with that. Anyway, so he asked this supposed medical, professional a question. It says, if you get a biological male patient, right? Biological male, that's inarguable. Biological male. Having pains in the abdominal region, claims to be having a miscarriage. Would you treat them as such? And you can just see the house of cards fall within this supposed medical professional's mind. It just crumbled. It was no. Right. Sounds to me like there's a category of people who can get pregnant and a category of people who can't. And then, of course, it's but there are some women who can't get pregnant. Yes, but they are of the nature to get pregnant. And the analogy he used was a very good one. He says, if someone is born with one leg, it now doesn't mean legs are on a spectrum. Okay, something went wrong. By their nature, they should have had two legs. They were born with one, something went wrong. Women, by their nature, fall pregnant and can give birth. If that can't happen or doesn't happen, it's not because it is a spectrum, it is because something has gone wrong. For whatever reason. Okay? Having first-hand, personal, not me personally, but having first-hand experience with miscarriages, I understand how difficult that can be. So I'm not for a minute belittling that or trying to downplay that. But the fact is, men cannot fall pregnant. Okay? If a man goes to a gynecologist, why? Why? They can't help you. But you get these doctors who will just play along with it. Oh, sure, okay, come this way, ma'am. I can see you all intact. But hey, sure, what's wrong with your ovaries? It is utter madness. It is ridiculous. So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You must stand up for the faith, okay? This doctor did exactly the right thing. No, I'm not going for male or female. Oh, the patient says, no, are they male or female? But the patient has, are they male or female? You're fired. Okay. If that's the hill I need to die upon, figuratively speaking, then so be it. Because it's such a ridiculous, obvious, self-evident hill that it shouldn't even need to be one. But this is what you get. The sensible G's. Okay. Douglas Murray is one of them. I have all the time in the world for Douglas Murray. Never met him. Unlikely that I ever will. But I will listen every time he speaks. Okay, he's not a Christian. He's an openly gay man. But he gets it. He gets it. He gets the Marxism, the communism, masked as all of these theories, in this case, the queer theory. He was having a great backwards and forwards on the Piers Morgan show, who I can take or leave. Sometimes he's very annoying. Sometimes he's very correct. About this singer Sam Smith, who's just sort of doing everything that all these pop stars throughout the sexual revolution already did 40 years ago. But hey, Sam, well done, jump on the bandwagon. Going backwards and forwards with this other LGBTQIAP2 spirit activist who's just insisting that everybody refers to Sam Smith as they. Piers Morgan is correct. There's one of them. They can't be they. There's one. It's a singular. Anyway, Douglas Murray, in his wonderfully trolling self, just refers to Sam Smith as he non-stop for about 2.5 minutes. It's brilliant. You can see the steam coming out of this activist's ears. It's fantastic. It ends with this activist going, "You disgrace to the LGBTQ community." And Douglas Murray just says, "I'm not a part of the LGBT community, you stupid sod." Or words to that effect. I go, and there we have it. There we have it. Douglas Murray and any theologian will never see eye to eye. They won't. It's that simple. But what have I said before? Okay? I've said before that those of us who stand on the side of truth, right? Forget religious, forget left, right, forget Liberal, National, Labor, Democrat, Republican. Forget all of that garbage for a minute. Those of us who stand on the side of objective truth. We need to be a united front through all of this activism, all of this stupidity, all of this cruelty that is being done to children. We need to stand firmly and united against this. Okay? If we agree on 85% of things, that's wonderful. Then let's agree on the 85% of things as a united front. We can argue about the 15% behind closed doors. That doesn't matter. Part of my objection when I did that short video on Crowder against the Daily Wire, it's like, fellas, why are we doing this out in the open? We need Daily Wire. We need Louder with Crowder. You do different things. Go and do them. You don't need to fight with each other. Be like this Christian doctor. Be uncompromising. Be gentle. Be graceful. But be uncompromising. He made them male and female. Full stop. That's what you believe. And anyone who causes these little children to sin, it would be better for a millstone to be hung around their neck and them dropped to the depths of the ocean than meet the consequences that will be coming their way. So, until next week, Pride Month Part 4. Until next week, God bless.